weird slide into the shot. Anyway,
Every single one.
well, I have to because the computer's way over there.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back to the Mad Take
TV podcast.
Mad Take TV podcast, right? And we're here to talk about the beautiful ending of
Arcane League
of Legends, the season 2, Act 3, episodes 7 through 9. So, starting off, I just want to say overall thoughts of this episode, the one that we're about to talk about. So, episode 7. It's called Pretend Like It's the First Time.
Was
probably one of my favorite episodes of the entire series.
Yes.
It was fantastic. And
they even brought back the old voice actors for Milo and Clagger
Vander and Silco, Benzo.
Benzo, yes.
All of it all came back. It was fantastic. So it starts off with just Echo just melding with the other Echo. Like our Echo, like mind melding.
You could tell what was happening too. Like you could tell that they were molding together then and there.
You could see both of their faces kind of mold together.
Yes.
So I think, in my honest opinion, this is, I don't know, probably pretty obvious, but this is reality. If Silco found Vander's note in the mining shaft.
It was also if they didn't fight with those kids and everything that happened after they left the explosion. Jace wouldn't have gotten arrested. He wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
The explosion killed Vi.
Yeah.
That was like. Well, I was going to lead up to that, but that was what the big difference here was. Mm-hmm. So everything up until that point, Vi and Powder's parents being killed on the bridge, Vander and Silco fighting and him trying to kill him, that all happened. So, in this reality, so things are way better. Mm-hmm. This is like the Undercity if everybody got along and there really was no
conflict.
I think in a way Vi dying. Okay, so let's get there.
We'll get there once we.
So they go to the Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here.
Benzo walks in after he meets Powder.
Right, and you see
Echo threw something at Powder.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so Powder walks in, and you hear Jinx's voice, and Echo turns around and sees her, gets all worked up, throws something at her, she ducks it, and he picks up a knife, and he's like,
"It's like get away from me!"
Ready to go. And so she is super confused, and you're. Kind of what's going on here? And you're obviously, well, they're friends. They finished growing up together, right? And then Benzo walks in and completely shuts down the whole thing and turns him into a little kid again. And all he does is just gives him a big giant hug.
Which I was like, oh, this is such a good scene. I just love this. And I was like, where's Heimerdinger? In my head, I was like, where's Heimerdinger? Right now.
Well, right, and then they go to the bar. So the opening happens, and then they go to the bar. Oh, I also wanted to point out too. I liked in the opening. So I think I pointed it out last time we were on. But the clock thing with Echo, in the opening when he's standing and his shadows are making the moving clock.
Yes.
So then when the opening, the music kicks in, and then everybody's Mel's yelling, and it all kind of breaks open. You see him jumping and doing a flip.
Mm-hmm. That was
I think it's almost literally him dodging fate in a way. That's him getting out of the way of
it shows that coming in episode 9, but we'll get there.
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, things are way better here. They go to the bar. Jinx is talking to Echo. All he can do is look past her at the two men at the bar just having a leisurely discussion that are dead in his life.
Yeah,
and
Milo.
He just can't. No, not Milo. He's looking at Vander and Benzo sitting at the bar talking.
Yes.
Then Milo and Clagger
walk in, and they say, "Hey." Clagger goes, "Hey, little man," which is what he said. He said that.
That was their nickname for him, right? So, and then he even grew up. So he grew up with these guys in their nickname. It seems like they're all, instead of fighting to survive and things. They're actually being educated and you, because you hear just the short Clagger is talking about purifying air and things like that. So like they're all like inventors and
Yeah.
workers. So it's just a whole different reality here, which is I think is really cool. So in the bar, then Heimerdinger walks in, and he sees the drawing, so he realizes kind of like what's going on.
That's
Yeah,
the bridge between Piltover and Zahn in the alternate universe was connected, and they had shops on the bridge. Do you see that? They had like shops connecting through the bridge. Like Piltover and Zahn weren't at war in that universe. Like everything was at peace there.
where did I write that? Bridge between Piltover and Undercity is a marketplace. Love it, is what I wrote in my notes when I was
Love it.
like, because I thought that was great. Like it was just a whole thing. Like
So cool.
yeah, a whole. I actually, in my original watch, didn't realize that he had gone to the upper city. I didn't. For some reason, I didn't catch that. So in the second watch, it was actually your
Went to
mom
the
that pointed it out. She was like, he was. So he went back to the original apartment that the accident happened in to find the hex tech.
Yes, and then he like dug through the wall and found the gems, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Heimerdinger
Meets up with
kind of
him.
is like, he says he's been here for what did I think I wrote it
11
down. 1,128 days, 6 hours, and 20 minutes.
Which was funny. I laughed at that because like it's so random. He says
Well, it's
every
not random though. Here's
Yeah.
why. I have another note as to why it's not. He keeps track of that stuff. He can't help. He's immortal, so he can't help that perspective of be patient and wait because he's got all the time in the world.
Oh.
Humans don't think that way. So it's just like I wrote down here. He can't help it. He's not being malicious about it. He just can't help it. Like 1,128 days is several years. So he's just been awake in this reality of several years. I think he loves it.
Which would be
I
understandable.
think he loves it here.
And everybody in Zahn loved him too.
Right. So there is no hex tech either.
And Heimerdinger explained that to Echo, that there wasn't any hex tech and that they wouldn't be able to get back. But Echo found
Right. So and then during all this, we're flashing back and forth with
Chase.
Jace in a completely opposite end of the spectrum. It's the dark future.
It's sad.
It is like the end of everything. Piltover is completely destroyed. It's the aftermath of a hex tech incident or whatever. It's the aftermath of.
What happens if he doesn't do anything with
I
Victor?
don't know if it's the aftermath of if he doesn't do anything. I think. I don't know. It's, like we'll have to get there in episode 9 because like that's crazy because
Yeah.
Jace.
A lot was
so
told in episode 9.
Right. We find out, like we've already discussed, that Jace or that Vi died in the original
Which
thing. So Jinx tells Echo, "I'm gonna go see Vi," and you're kind of like
Powder.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Powder tells
Echo.
that we're gonna go see. I'm gonna go see Vi. Who would you like to go with? And you're kind of at the first you're kind of like, and then I was like, oh, I think I know what's going on.
I was like, okay, let's see Vi's alternate reality look.
Right.
And then they go and she's gone.
Yeah.
And then it flashes to the scene where she died in the explosion. It was so good.
It was good. It was very good. And of her
I'd watch that
crying, and it was like
episode.
that. It was like a mirrored image of her, Powder sitting in the alleyway at the end of episode 3 in the
Yes.
first season, but she had no one in her arms.
Yes.
She had no one to care for her, and she was screaming, "Please don't leave me!" And then Silco shows up, so that was almost like a mirrored thing. But she was holding Vi, holding her sister in her arms,
which is sad.
really, really strange. Because, but I think, and this I don't want to see weird, but like well, first of all, I think the Vi shrine is weird, and it shows a little bit of that weird side of the little bit of a damaged side of Powder.
Yes.
Not quite to the level of what Jinx experienced, but
Yes.
she has like
That argument.
a different trauma in a way.
The argument between Echo and Powder at the shrine, where she put something down for Vi, and then Echo was like, she's dead, and she was like, stop toying with me or whatever.
Don't mess with me, right?
Yeah.
Or no, when she said, just leave before I do something I regret.
Yes.
That was like, oh, there's Jinx.
There's.
But she doesn't even know Jinx. Like, that
She's
never happened. You know what I'm saying? In this reality. So it's weird, but you could see that little bit of, like, flair in her like that.
If
Real quick, the song that was performing. The song that was actually sung by Heimerdinger's actual voice actor. So that was super, super cool. I quite enjoyed the song.
And I loved the unfoldable little guitar he had. It was
That was
so
awesome. It wasn't even like unfoldable. It was on his back, and it would like it's like a little track. It like swung around him and then like unfolded. It like come around from his back, and it was like all attached to him. It was super cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
If somebody told Powder that's about Jinx in the other universe, she wouldn't believe her. But believe them. But if someone told Jinx that there was an alternate Powder, then she wouldn't believe them either.
Right.
So
I think that the accident that happens or whatever,
the explosion
that kills Vi in this reality, I think it is like it was almost like a tragedy that brought the two cities together in a really sad sort of way. You see, because like when they show that scene of her holding her, like you said, they show the sheriff walk in and take his mask off, and he's just like Marcus.
Yeah,
they show Marcus walk in the door, and he's just like, you could see the devastation in his face,
oh my God.
So I just think it like really, it in a way, it brought
Zahn
it woke people up. It brought a peaceful end to a lot of what was happening. Even though there had already been battles fought and people died on both sides, I think that it really like that. A kid dying was like, all right, people, like what are we doing here?
Like a 14 to 15-year-old dying, like in an explosion caused by Piltover, really like brought peace to everybody, and everyone was like, guys, why don't we just
like let's start working together? And like you could see that bridge, that marketplace between that bridge that just totally tells that tale without telling it. Like again, show don't tell, with like that says that this is an open walkway. We walk between these cities evenly. You could see that it wasn't dark in the Undercity.
No, everyone was like, everyone's faces like glowed differently than they did.
I like that point. I like that. Their faces glowed. Yeah. They had color. They weren't, like
their outfits were less like dirty and like less.
Agreed. They looked like they had more. They had more resources.
Yeah.
They were providing for themselves better than they were in the original.
It was the entire thing, besides everything that was happening with Jace, was so sweet. Like, you get to see what it was like.
No, that reality versus Jace's reality is totally a total separate cast. Speaking of which, like, go ahead. I want to finish the point.
There was good things happening, and then it would just randomly flip to Jace, like running around, like he was having a rough time.
Yeah.
He fell down that big cave.
He gets chased by the automatons. We had never seen those things before, so we know what they're. And automatons is a term I learned from like
automatons.
Automatons, like robots. So, like I learned it from like Dungeons and Dragons. It's like what FCG was. It was an automaton.
Oh yes,
from Fresh Cut Grass.
Yeah.
So. Critical Role. So yeah, he falls down running from them, but his hammer breaks his leg. So here's what I wrote down for this. He breaks his leg with his own hammer and falls in a fissure created by his ultimate failure.
Dang.
Like just everything, all of his mistakes just kicking his own ass on the way down.
And he also realized that he was being watched by these things, because he would look around and then there would be one
he
like
would look up into the crack and they'd be hanging. It was really creepy.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I would not be. And with that broken leg and him digging into the wall trying to make like those steps to get up, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so then I wrote down survival. Sorry, I'm going to quit referring to my notes, but like survival montage. So they showed him like it was just like him carving into the wall and then like eating the lizards and like just kept flashing back and forth between that stuff.
I felt
and, like,
horrible. I was like, oh my gosh.
His leg being like infected, like you could see it, like.
And then you could see the little like hex. You could see the kind of.
The what?
I don't know how to explain it. Yes.
Oh, the anomaly.
Yes,
Yes,
the
I know what you're
anomaly.
getting at.
Yes.
Yeah, in his
Yes.
disease in his leg.
Which
so then, yeah,
was
you said he disassembled his hammer.
And then we forgot to mention the gem got instead it turned from a bracelet to like inside of his hand. The gem did.
Didn't that happen later though, when he met the wizard at the top? Didn't that happen when he said "send me back"? That's when it was like, and it,
Yes.
okay, yeah,
Yes.
all right,
Yes.
So that's later on.
So yeah, I just remembered that from when he killed Victor or when he shot Victor with his hammer. I remember seeing it like in his thing.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, because
'Cause it showed
when he
that.
first came back, they
Yeah.
showed it.
Yeah,
Embedded
we
in his
didn't
wrist.
mention that last episode.
The
but like
the gem being embedded in his
yes,
wrist.
we did
yeah.
not mention that. But now I see the correlation kind of come in because this is what episode 7 is everything that what happened before Jace went, like everything that happened to Jace was is happening in this episode, and it's showing why he went to go and kill Victor, or
Yeah,
why
yeah, we're getting why
yeah.
he exactly. Like it's almost like a flashback kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that was what happened with Echo and Heimerdinger. That's what was happening during them losing Vander, losing Isha, losing like Victor, all that happening. But Echo and Heimerdinger.
Oh, the battle like down in the Undercity.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
But that was all happening while Echo and Heimerdinger were making the hex tech to get back.
Right. Yeah. See, I just think like the two different realities. Like I don't think they run parallel or anything. It's just like he said it scattered us across time.
Yes.
So I don't think time mattered there because he was there for 3 years before
Yeah.
Echo woke up. So like that time matters to him, of course, in a way. But like Echo was only there for like a couple of weeks, maybe, right? Or a
Yeah.
few days.
Maybe.
Oh no, because it was like it must have been like a week or two, maybe at
Like,
most, because
I
they were getting
remember
ready for the competition.
them saying something about 6 days until
Okay.
the competition or whatever, and they made all that.
Okay.
Season.
So we're going back to Echo. So then we leave Jace after he gets out. He works his way to the top and he finds the dude holding the hammer, right?
I think it was the hammer.
Right. So then we go back to Echo, who is apologizing to Powder,
Yes.
essentially because he needs her help and he
He
feels
made
bad.
he made all that just because he made her upset. He painted all that
Yeah.
just for her.
But so like when I was watching it, I was like, he painted a Vi that doesn't exist here.
Here.
Like how did he? So the way he says it, she was like, "Oh, you saw this in your dream."
Yes.
So that's how he explained the alternate
He was
timeline
he was like, yeah,
to
she
her,
was a
basically, without
badass.
sounding like a psychopath. I'm from a different time. He told her it was a dream.
Yeah.
So
he didn't want to freak her out,
Right.
of course.
So that was cool the way he explained it. And just like Powder's happy.
Yes. The
It's
pink
so-
streak in her hair shows that she was getting
right.
through the loss of her older sister. And that pink streak symbolized like a lot to her.
Right.
The pink in her hair. And season 1, episode 7 was the fight scene between Echo and Jinx. And now season 2, episode 7 is the alternate universe where they're together. Like,
Season 1, episode 7.
was the fight scene between Echo and Jinx.
Okay.
Like the big ticking time, like
Echo and Jinx. Yes,
Echo and
correct.
Jinx.
Yes. Oh, okay.
And then-
and then this
yes.
episode, fantastic.
Yeah,
Okay, so
and
I like
it's the
that.
same
So they were
episode
alluding
7.
to it way back then of them
Yes.
being like
something more.
something more in that I to me like that was one of my favorite parts of the whole series in the
Yes.
first season was the when he
And
it was
it-
dynasties in
foreshadowing.
dystopia, right?
Yes,
And it's-
foreshadowing was crazy.
Great. So yeah, I love that.
Another really small thing I noticed
Sure.
was, so remember in episode 3 where Vi slapped Powder, or like when
Yeah.
she slapped her, I'm pretty sure that broke her nose. But if you look at them, Jinx and Powder next to each other, Powder's nose isn't crooked and Jinx's nose is. So like when Vi slapped
Yeah,
her,
you see her face is healthier,
is
everything.
healthier.
Yeah.
Yes. And because Vi didn't hit her in that universe, because Vi died, and none of that happened.
Oh wow, that's a really good point. I didn't
Yes.
catch that. I didn't catch the crooked nose thing at all.
I looked at them side to side. I was like, hey, that's a little strange.
Oh, that's really neat. Yeah.
Yes. And then we go to them starting to make the
Another musically. I said music nailed again. I'm just writing notes down, so I don't
music
remember.
was awesome.
For the Echo Powder montage when they were like,
Just they were
when they
together
were making the we're building the
with
machine.
also just the tiny shards in
together.
that like that the clock
clock
shape.
thing, yeah.
Yes, I was like, I see what he's doing. I
Right.
know what he's about to do. He's about to make hex tech to
Basically,
get back to
that's exactly what he's doing.
yeah.
Right.
And that's what I was thinking that entire episode. I was like, what is he gonna do to get back? How is he gonna get back?
So I think with it being like, he accidentally created like a little time machine. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he pulled the lever and he was like, you just said that. Because she said
Right.
she said something and then he was like, you just said
So
that.
I
And she
think
was
that
like,
was
no, I didn't.
that was like the capability of that tiny anomaly they created with
Just
those
2
tiny
seconds,
gems. 4 seconds. It was 4 seconds.
Well, originally it was like a second or two, and then
Oh,
he
right.
changed. He flipped it, and it was
Said
like
that's the limit. Was
he
4
was like
seconds.
he
Yeah.
was like, believe me, the limit is 4 seconds, because he saw Heimerdinger's face like explode when he went back too far. Remember the little scene where he was flipping it back and he went to 5, and then Heimerdinger
It
like
exploded,
exploded.
and like his
Yes.
fur was still on his face when he came back.
He was like,
Right. Right. So so like that's when he determines that 4 seconds is the limit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
trust me. I think like again, I want to reiterate that Heimerdinger is like he didn't want to create hex tech because he's happy living in this world because he was
Yeah.
against it to begin with.
he was
He was scared of it to begin with. At the very beginning, he was the one who was telling Jace, "Don't do this because this is going to end
and
in."
Victor was the one who was
Right.
like, we need to do this.
Right. So he's happy doing this and helping his pupils though. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's a teacher at heart.
Yeah.
Like, and he wants to stay here.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, the song that he sang, his voice actor, amazing. That song, it was so good. It was just that one song the Heimerdinger's voice actor sang.
Yeah.
So good.
That's great. Yeah, that was so the
Wasn't
I
that
have-
playing during the little montage, that song, or was that playing during a
I
different
don't
part?
remember. I just rewatched it today, but I don't remember exactly because I was like writing notes and stuff at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I said when he said something about she still likes to make a spectacle or something, and I was like the thought went through my head. It was like, okay, so she's still Jinx even though she doesn't know Jinx, but like in a different way. She's just Jinx with like
Kinder heart.
different trauma and adult examples.
She
Here's a great
has
point.
both of her dads
Listen.
too.
Yeah, you were about to say it.
Yeah.
A united Vander and Silco saved Powder from becoming Jinx in this reality. Even though she lost her sister, a point of trauma that could have sent her over any edge, those two men being there for her and the rest of that village and family being there for her saved her and turned her into this person that we're looking at in this reality.
Milo and Clagger.
Right.
And notice how when they got older, Milo would joke around and be mean to her, but then would say, "Oh, I'm joking," because after Vi's death, I'm guessing that Milo and Clagger were like her siblings.
Why
then.
does it seem like, why is her death a good thing in this reality?
I don't-
It's so sad.
It's so sad
And
that
it's like,
her-
geez, but like everything is better.
And then Caitlyn is like nothing in this unit.
We didn't even see her in this, did we?
No,
We didn't even
saw
see.
we saw
she-
her face next to Marco, in the explosion. Like when the yes,
I
we
didn't
saw-
see that. She
I
was
saw-
behind Marcus?
She was like
I didn't catch that. I didn't
yeah.
catch that.
And she was next
okay.
to Jace, and because Jace was like
So wait, they were all three in that?
all three of them.
I did not catch
You
that.
didn't
I
see them?
only saw Marcus,
'Cause
and
Caitlyn
both
was
times I
little.
watched it, I only saw Marcus. So Caitlyn was little, and
Caitlyn was like a
So they
teenager.
were, because Caitlyn and Jace were coming up to the apartment in that first
Yes.
episode.
Yeah,
oh,
they
wow.
were.
Okay,
And
so I didn't catch that
And
either.
before the explosion, the chair was under the thing, so
Right,
they were
he
trying
was
to open the
open
door.
the door, and then Marcus showed up. The police showed up,
And then
and then boom, bad happened. Yeah, wow.
And then they came in and saw Powder on the floor with Vi, and Caitlyn was like, "Whoa," and so was Jace.
Okay, so
which-
then you already mentioned it.
That
I'm sorry.
means
I didn't mean to. Go
no,
ahead.
it's fine. Caitlyn's mom didn't die. None of the counselors died. All of that happened.
Like
that
all
Jinx
of that-
did. Nothing in this universe.
Nothing. So Jinx, right? Again,
Jinx
so like
doesn't
that,
exist.
again, another thing, like not furthering the hatred between the two sides, between the upper and lower cities. You know what I mean? Like that again, that death of that kid in that accident really like
I hate how
brought everything.
it was good. I hate how
It
it was
sucks
good.
that's what it is, but like her death in this reality turned out to be a good thing. Her whatever sacrifice she made or whatever it was that happened to her brought everyone else together and made this place a decent place to live, which is like crazy.
And it's so sad because everybody loves Vi and all, but like that, her death being a good thing for another
I don't want to
universe.
say it's a good thing, but
Well, no.
it like had positive influence after
benefits.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Right.
that scene just makes my gut like.
Yeah.
It's
Right. So
sad to
Jace,
talk about.
it is. Yeah. I hate that's what it took to make this to make that reality possible. So you had already mentioned it, but Jace comes face to face with the wizard and the dead version of himself, essentially holding his hammer.
Oh, that was I didn't even realize that. That was
Yeah.
his the
Well,
dead.
like the whole thing comes full circle in episode
I don't
9.
think I was really like
Right.
wholly focused on that little part
And
at the
then when the
moment.
wizard sends Jace back. Jace says, "I won't fail." That's when the gem goes into his wrist,
Yes, which
and he
was
pulls the
cool.
hammer loose from like that was so cool. How he like when he grabbed the hammer, the thing was like he
Mm-hmm.
like pushed it forward, and when he grabbed it, it was like and it opened his hands
So
like that.
cool.
It was cool. Yeah,
So cool.
right.
But we go to the competition, and Vander goes. Powder has like a surprise entrance like she normally does. That or said something like
Well,
that.
that was the party before
Oh,
the
the
competition.
competition,
That was like
like
the night before.
the night
right.
before.
So then they all left and went to then so they
Wait,
kissed or whatever.
During the party when they were dancing, the frames like how it was like
Yeah.
there was
It was like
four
half frame.
frames
Yeah.
per second, which is the amount of seconds that he can go back. See,
That's cool stuff. I love
I
those
was
little
looking
details.
it up and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's really
and,
neat.
And it showed that he wanted to go back and relive that moment as much as he could. That little moment.
Yeah, right.
The
Can we
dancing.
pretend like it? Oh, and then he even said to her, "Can we pretend like it's the first time like they had done that?" And he went back.
Well, they were
and,
about
like-
to kiss, and then he was like, "Wait."
Yeah.
And he like took a breath, and he was like, "Can we pretend like it's the first time?" And that scene, I was like, "So this could have happened, and this is what Echo wanted."
So, but like you say, could have happened, but like is happening.
Is happening in
Right.
another.
in another reality.
Yeah.
Like this is happening. It's not like that. It's like a dream or like, this is an
It's
actual
happening.
alternate. It's happening in that reality.
But not
which,
in Echo's.
No, so well that was I think they indicated at the beginning with them melding together that they could potentially be pulled apart, which is like what we're leading to.
Yeah.
So Heimerdinger, right. So after that, they go back and him and Heimerdinger. Remember, he told him when they after everything done the machine, he's like, "I'm going to find a way to boost it." Right.
Yes.
Right. So he does that. They
He
get
does
back
that
there.
during the party. Yeah.
During the party.
During the party.
So like, and then Heimerdinger says, like, "All I got to do is hook up the power supply," and then you never see him do that. So then they get the whole thing started, and boom, the anomaly opens up, and then you like
Then you
as soon
see
as he
that
says,
little
"It's
hex-
been a world, kid," or something like that, I was like, "No,
No, he's about to die. I was.
no." Right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So then he jumps out and he plugs the power supply up, and he just essentially he just vaporizes.
So, I was like, oh my gosh, like
Now
after
here,
everything.
here, this is kind of a little outside the box, a little cheating because I'm not a fan of the video game and I never have played it. But inside, I guess, of League of Legends lore, his species is immortal, and if they die, they don't necessarily die, but their spirit or their thing is returned to like the place of their birth or something like that. So Heimerdinger potentially not dead. Another one I heard in the video I was watching from, it's called Heavy Spoilers. Shout out to Heavy Spoilers channel. He said that that not only did if he did die, not only did Heimerdinger kill himself, our original Heimerdinger, but the Heimerdinger from that universe, because he would have inhabited that body like Echo did. So he killed. So I was like, oh, that's a bummer. If that's the case, that really sucks. I'm looking forward to. I want to look at it the other way around. I want to look at it like.
I
want to look
really
at it like
hope that
he's still
both
he's
of
still
them are
around.
not dead.
Right. Right.
And Heimerdinger, they could have made it so much more emotional, but they just made it that quick. They made his death very quick.
Right.
And then Echo had to pull himself together so he could get back to save Jinx.
To save his world, yeah.
His world.
So when they pulled themselves apart, I was just kind of like, okay, cool. Like this world gets to continue on.
Yes.
As it is, like this world gets to keep going, which I was like, that
and we
really
saw
like
both
made
the
me.
Echoes at the same time.
Yes.
And
Right.
Powder was like,
But she also almost kind of knew what was happening. He's like telling me these dreams, they were true. Like he had told her everything.
she smiled at him.
Yeah.
before-
So like she like knew almost. So but the Echo there doesn't remember any of the time that
He said,
our Echo
"What
was
happened?"
there. Yeah, what happened, right.
And then the little capsule that he had with the strap around his shoulder with
Like that's how Echo, I guess that's how he looks in the games. Like he
Yeah.
has that thing on him and he has his sword that he had at the end of episode 9.
which was the blue. Yeah, we'll talk about.
We'll talk about that,
We'll-
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Because we're at the end of this first
Yes.
episode.
Finally we've
Right.
been.
I wanna see, like,
I
how-
love
how
this.
far we are- how-
Yeah.
we're at
At the very end of the episode, after Echo went back, we see a clip of Powder going to visit Vi, right?
Right. And she's hiding.
She grabs the pendant, and I saw this in a spoiler, and it was the pendant zoomed in and with like a little drawing on it, and it was Echo and Jinx's face.
Yeah, and it's like
which-
some sort of flower that symbolizes like eternal love or something like that.
Mm-hmm. and
right?
it was Jinx and Echo's
Right.
face on the same side. But then someone said that in the merch, like the actual thing, Echo's face is on one side and Jinx is on the other side in the actual.
I
Like,
haven't seen any of the merch.
Yeah.
So, but then she's hiding the hex gems.
yeah, I'm done with my notes. My notes are.
She's hiding the hex gems. I'm checking them off.
Yeah, you forgot one.
No, I didn't. I left that unchecked.
Oh.
So she's hiding the hex gems. So who knows what's in store for that reality?
Yes.
We don't know.
We saw the
kinda
bag.
just,
We
like,
saw the bag of the.
Hopefully there's like the happy ending there. Like the bag of gems, like the original
Yes.
like stolen bag of gems
Yes.
from Jace's apartment.
And they weren't smoothed out like
no,
like
they
hex
weren't.
gems.
No, so
They
that
were
none of that
actual-
had happened yet.
They
right.
had saw it was like
were just
the crooked
raw
one,
hex
the
gems,
Raw
yeah.
hex gems.
Right.
Now moving
we're
on
moving on to
to
episode 8.
Killing is a cycle.
Right. So we get to see Mel. It comes in with Mel.
Yes.
Basically, we get to see her after she frees herself from the chains of the Black
She
Rose.
looked awesome, by
Yeah.
the way.
I
She
said
looks.
her gold armor is leveled up. Right. Okay.
Yeah. It,
If I took it right, she's the daughter of
Ambessa.
Ambessa and a Black Rose mage.
yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that makes
They
sense.
didn't explain who her parent was, but like,
No,
Right.
It has her father had to have been he had to have been a mage of like the Black Rose, and that's why Ambessa hates them so much. Cause you realize how she killed two of them.
right. Well, that's why they took her son, because she left. We don't know the whole story, and I think they're saving it for a reason that we'll get to at the end of the podcast there.
Yeah.
So Ambessa, so the opening happens, and we come back in on Ambessa, who is obviously hurt bad with the loss of Rictus. We
Who was
see
Rictus again?
her right hand man.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
We didn't have his name. We called him Big Guy or something
or
like
something
that.
like that. Yeah, right.
We didn't know what to call him.
Rictus. So what's his name? Stabbed him, killed him, tore him up.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Vander. Warwick.
So I saw somewhere Rictus. They showed him being buried vertically. And that was a way that they would bury warriors in ancient
yes.
times. So they were stood ready for battle. You know, it was a sign of respect. So which I thought was kind of a cool touch.
That scene was sad, but it was definitely not as sad as like Caitlyn's mom's death. because like the whole burial and everything
Yeah.
without in Act 1, everything without the dialogue was it was sad. He was crying. I was
Right.
You were crying in the first 2 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
It was sad.
But that was
Yes.
that was the
Yeah,
first episode.
but-
That was first episode season 2, right? The very
Yeah, and
beginning.
he-
yeah.
and,
I was definitely in tears at that. Yeah.
Yeah, but this was also sad, but him being buried vertically and then I think didn't they stack stones on top of his thing and then put
Oh,
his
and they were burying him. Yeah, something like
Yes.
that. Yeah, and put his weapon in there or something. So then we get to see like Victor, like what happens with like what Singe is doing and hooking up all the tubes and trying
Yes,
to
it
bring
was
Victor
like-
back to life, and then he speaks through his the dead people.
Yes, which was
Right.
weird.
And then-
I was like, "What? He's still alive?"
So I wrote down Victor's glorious evolution is terrifying.
It's true.
Because he turns him into like the robot thing. He turns
And-
like the first follower, like that guy with the
Mm-hmm.
the lumps on his face.
Everyone keeps calling Victor like God. People keep saying that he looks like God. That he like
God.
turned into
He essentially turned into short of a god. Yeah.
which
Right.
is freaky.
Yeah.
Because of hex tech.
Because of science and magic, like
And
smashed
he was
together.
and we talked about this in the first episode where Victor died from the explosion.
Yeah.
But Mel it was confirmed that Mel was protecting Jace and Jace was like, "Why would you protect me and not him?"
Right. Yeah. That's later on in the episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they have that conversation.
Yes.
So then Vi like wakes up. So we switch to her, and she wakes up, and she's looking at Vander for a second, but then it changes to Loris.
Loris, yes,
Which
so-
we thought like maybe that Loris would be connected to Vander in some
Vander.
way, and that was it. That was the only connection.
That
Was
was
just
the
her
only
kind of like
connection.
mistaking what he right.
Didn't she like die for a minute?
Vi?
Yeah, I thought she did because she protected Jinx and she like jumped on top of Jinx in the explosion that Isha caused.
Oh,
And-
something like that.
And
yeah.
then she woke up and Jinx was in jail. She was
Right.
told that.
right.
Kate
So the-
admits, yeah. That's what he
Right.
said.
So then Kate admits that she fucked up by hitching her wagon to Mbessa because like Vi's yelling at her, giving her the third degree about it, and she's like, I know.
Like I messed up. I know
did it. I know. Right. And then she tells Vi that like Vi gets mad. She tells Vi that Jinx turned herself in. Like before,
She's been
she's like there
trying.
was so much of this happening, and before I could blink, they were hauling her away. Like
Yeah, that's what
I
she
haven't
was-
had a chance to think about it, which was like a
And
you know, like a very human thing, you know, like I get it. Like I understand you're upset. Like I didn't have time to deal with this. Like I wanted to talk to you about it, and here's what we're doing right now, you know, like
yeah.
so
Jinx kind of like sort of apologized to Kate and kind of forgave Kate from season 1 when she was like, "You're working with an enforcer," to Vi.
yeah,
Yeah, and she kind of forgave her and kind of
her own
work
kind of like
together.
half-assed way.
Yes.
Like you can see that she's really distraught. She's picking her fingernails till they bleed.
Yeah,
She's sitting there,
I saw.
but she still has a hex gem.
Yeah, but
So
they
even
don't.
so
She
she-
swallowed
she-
it. She swallowed it
okay.
and like threw it back
Oh,
up.
that's what it was. That's
That's
right. They
when the-
showed that scene. Yeah.
She had multiple. She's
Right.
swallowed multiple. It showed
crazy.
her spitting up all of the
Oh, I
gems in
didn't
that
catch
one
that.
scene. Yeah,
All
and
right.
as you said, yeah, Jinx was destroyed by Isha's death, and she was
Like I
was-
said, but in a way, she was like, I didn't know your mom was there.
yeah.
Like I still would have done it, but I didn't know she was there.
And
You know?
you realize that they took the X out of her shirt and took her hair out, like meaning like so she wouldn't have anything to like herself with.
Yeah. Right.
Which was sad. She
Yeah.
was picking at her fingernails till they
Right.
bled, but they didn't know she had swallowed the gems.
Right. Well, yeah.
Disgusting.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
How somebody could do that. Right?
Yes. So
Swallow
then
a
Jason
circle
Mel.
that big around. Like I don't
Yeah,
get it.
like
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
swallowing
Could
it.
you imagine that? Oh God.
Oh, ew.
Right.
Then Jason Mel reunion.
Right. And it's not like you think it's gonna be. Like you think they would like embrace each other, but he's like pissed. Like he's like you just said a few minutes ago. Like he's like, why did you only protect me? Why didn't you protect
Yes.
Victor? Right. And then his hammer like vibrates or something, and he turns and
Like it's the hammer's telling him there was something there.
Right.
And he flipped around and he saw the bot or whatever
right,
it
and
was
he shot
called.
at it.
Yeah, whatever
I just
you-
call it automaton because that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
I don't even know that's a robot because it was made from like a human,
Yeah. He was mad at Mel for
not protecting.
Victor.
But
yeah.
her saying she even she used two words when I wrote them down. She didn't have a greater awareness of it.
She didn't know then.
She didn't know that she could control that. Then right.
She was so close to Jace that she was like,
Right.
I need to protect him. And
Right.
as you said back, like 2 episodes ago, you thought her armor protected Jace and
Right.
not Victor. But now we know that it was more than that.
Right.
It was more than just
It's
her armor.
Her armor. Yeah, so that
it was-
armor is like some part of her magic, part of her
and it's
powers.
a part of her body too.
Yeah, it
like
seems
it's
like
not,
it.
It's like in.
It seemed like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that it was ingrained in like her face and her arms and stuff like that. Yeah.
I love her character design so much.
Yeah,
she
it's
looks
super
nothing
cool.
like her League of Legends character, which was that
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
hers.
I've seen a
yeah.
few of them, and I have that box of toys behind you. But like
I
so,
didn't see that. That's cool. That Echo, Caitlin.
they have a bit of a conversation, and Victor, as always, just even keel, super creepy, weird,
Oh,
straight.
and then his voice being distorted. It got more and more distorted
Yeah.
over the episode. Like
It did.
it was like I'm
Right.
to like his voice
Yeah,
just.
he just didn't sound evil or like the bad. It was just like
Yeah.
this emotionless, like I'm gonna fix everything by removing emotion,
Mm-hmm.
So, but then they start fighting, and he was gonna kill him. He had him by the neck. He was gonna kill him, and then Mel stopped him.
Was the Sky and Victor being aparted, like him going, I will miss our talks, and her saying, no, you won't. Was that in episode 8 or 9?
That was later on. Yeah.
Later in episode
Oh,
8. The where he was like, I will miss our talks,
I
and
think-
she says, no, you won't.
that's
and
at the
then
end of this episode.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's at the very end of this episode. So then, like in the
cell.
in the cell, so Silco finally shows up.
I was like, I actually thought he was alive for a second. I did.
No, I
for a
knew.
second.
No way. I knew that was the
then
case. But they showed him, and he has
shadow.
a blue eye
Yes,
instead of the red eye,
yeah, which was strange.
which was strange. So, like almost showing like a different side of him, like the good side of
A
him.
more sensible side of Jinx's personality, meaning like.
Oh right, yeah, because this is all in her head. Like
Yes.
it's obviously not a ghost of Silco. This is
Yeah.
a construct of her brain.
And his shadow, just showing him in the cell, you can tell by his facial structure that's Silco. Before you even heard
Yeah.
his voice, you saw his shadow, and you were like,
Yeah.
Silco?
But his voice, that voice actor whoever did Silco did a great job. I love that he came back and did this. I love that Vander came back and did, like, I love that they were already available to come back and
I saw in
finish the show like
season
that.
1,
Right.
Silco's voice actor also voice acted one of the characters in the scene where they Vi walks in to go talk to that wizard lady, and that's when she first called her Caitlin Cupcake.
Okay.
He
He does a bunch of stuff,
he,
huh?
he did a voice in that one of that scene, and I didn't even know until I searched up.
'Cause that's
Yeah.
a good voice actor. Then.
Voice,
Yeah.
yeah, completely different accent
character.
too.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
So then Jinx comes into the cell, or Vi comes into the cell,
Uh-huh.
and like just
Her
gives
hair is like everywhere too. Like
Jinx a giant hug, not powder. She gives Jinx
Jinx
a
a hug.
giant hug, just like accepting Jinx for who she is and everything,
Instead
and just
of
wants her
powder.
to be her sister. I don't care that you're Jinx. I'm
want
here
my-
for you. Yeah.
I'm here for my sister, which
right.
is
He accepts Jinx as is with that hug. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Jinx when she punched her,
In the same spot that Kate hit her in when
with
they
the-
broke up, in
Yes,
the
and
ribs.
so
Like it's
she was
her
like-
her like weak spot. She's never watching there. Yeah.
yeah. So that's when Vi was like, oh my god, like
And then they have a small conversation, and she tells her, she's like, "Where are you going?" She's like, "I'm gonna go break the cycle."
by meaning that she was going to like,
Yeah.
and then Vi screaming and she's like punching stuff, and it was kind of like when she
Punches
went
the wall.
she
Yeah.
punched the wall, her
Right.
knuckles are bleeding,
Right.
and and then it was kind of like when she went to in that little depression that she went through with the black when she
Yeah,
died.
yeah, oh
It was
yeah.
kind
She's
of like
going to
that.
go punch stuff. That's like
Yes.
that's her medicine.
That's-
That's her.
yes.
That's how she.
Which is rough.
No, it's not great. It's not
no.
great. It's not a great mentally.
It's
but
not a great.
I mean, it doesn't make her a
decision.
bad person. It's
No.
just how she handles shit. She punches stuff. That's why she gave her the big mechanical fists.
Vander kind of taught her
In a
how
way.
to protect.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
He was responsible for that, right? But again, I was about to say, the him and Silco being together, it would have been totally different for Vi too if she had made it, if she had not died in that. That's a whole nother alternate reality, is her not dying in that explosion. Like what happens at that point, you know? So, but that's a whole different podcast to
Then
discuss.
Jason, Mel go into. We really do need to talk about season 1 because season 1 is awesome too.
Right,
like-
we can definitely go back and do it. I'd like to. We got to get more content up on the channel. So I mean, there's another thing we can do. We can definitely do that. So yeah, let's not get, because we got a lot more to cover. So let's not get too backtracked on talking about season 1. We'll refer
Yeah.
to, but like again, save it for a whole nother
Jason, Mel
podcast.
unite.
So they get everyone to fight Mbessa, and
Yes.
they tell everybody, basically everybody what's coming
Savika
down.
being there.
Right.
Savika just like looking down and was like, I have to help. Like
Right. Well, she's always been about the Undercity.
Yeah.
She just
And-
wants what's best for the Undercity. Like Savika, like her being, she was kind of a bad guy and this and that. And I get that, but like now, like you see, like her intentions have always been what's best for the Undercity. In her heart of hearts, even though like she may have chose the wrong side, but with choosing Silco over Vander or whatever that might be, back in the day, her intention was still what's best for the Undercity. So like I think she's a great character in that regard. I do like that.
I love Savika. I've always loved Savika. Her new haircut was a little. it made,
I like it. I think it's
I
cool.
liked it, but it was a little. I
Right.
didn't like it at
She's
first.
been through some shit, man. You can see
Yeah.
just like the stuff on her face, and like she's.
I love her facial structure
Yeah.
so much.
Right. I brought Jace's new armor is pretty badass. Like the way he's got the
Oh.
arm guard on, and he comes out
Yes,
with the.
and then the hammer.
Right.
The hammer's still awesome.
Yeah,
I love
his gravity hammer or whatever it turned
gravity.
into sitting for years.
In
in
the
that
hammer's
reality.
his thing. The hammer's Jace's thing.
Right.
And Bessa wants.
So I wrote. So she wants all of this. She wants Hex Tech. She wants
Shimmer. She wants.
all of it. She wants whatever she can do. That's why she keeps turning to Singe, and she turned to. It was her daughter, and then her daughter disappeared.
Well, because of the Black Rose.
Because of the Black Rose, and then so she turned to Singe and Hex Tech and Mad Science basically to get something to combat against the Black Rose. She wants all of this just to fight against the Black Rose. It's really her only intention is to save herself. So she's doing all this for very, very selfish reasons.
Yeah, and
I said the lower and upper city are forced to
Yes.
unite to fight the coming threat. That's the
Yeah.
the
I also added. I
the
also. Oh,
Undercity
you had.
kids coming back. Like they shut the lights off. Like the enforcers, just like in the first season, they have the lights on and they're waiting for them to come. They're waiting for battle.
Yes.
When this one, they turn the lights on and they're waiting for people. And they turn the lights off when nobody else is coming. But then out of the darkness comes I think her name is Gerd. The Jinxer chick.
Oh yes. The
With her
I love her.
I think
She
her name
was-
is Gerd. I think
Gerd,
that's her
yes.
name. I don't know for
Yes,
sure.
because in the other universe, Milo likes.
Milo likes her. And I think
Milo
her name is Gerd.
Gerd. Yes.
I'm not sure of that, but
'Cause
like,
you just made me realize that is the same girl.
right.
Same.
So that going so differently was crazy because in the first season they were putting up walls to keep those people out, and then as soon as he sees them, he's like, "No, come on!" and he welcomes them into
Yes.
the city. Like
Yes.
that was like a huge thing in this story.
Yes.
It was such a small scene, but such a huge, meaningful thing of them being welcomed into the city. Like, yeah, please come. We need everybody we can to help with this fight.
And it kind of reminded me of episode 7 a little bit, but instead of just like come on in, it's like we're gonna connect our cities. That was the other universe, but in this one they're like everybody come over here, we're gonna fight, like we need you.
So Kate comes in and basically comes into the jail cell and basically admits to Vi that she,
Saw someone and
well, no, that she knew what would happen. She knew Vi would go and try to bust Jinx out. She
then
knew
Jinx
it.
would.
And then Jinx, she knew, she like predicted. She's like, I'm sorry, but you've become a bit predictable. Like she said it
Yes,
to her, yeah.
which
So-
she always was.
Right.
Vi was always kind of
And I wrote,
predictable.
they get back together in a jail cell
My,
in an uncomfortably long scene.
yes, something I liked was right before that whole scene like started. Kate goes, "Wait, I've been seeing someone," and everyone thought that. Everyone thought that Vi was gonna be like, "Oh my gosh," or whatever. She goes, "Kate, I don't care."
I don't effing care, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and then yeah,
Right. So then we go to Mel going into
and best.
Ambessa's camp.
Yes.
Basically, going down where they are building the. Were they tents? Was she in like tent? They were tents camped
Yeah,
outside
tents.
the city. Yeah.
Like
Okay.
right outside of that little city Victor built, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So she goes there to see her and confronts Mom, and Mom tells her basically, and Bessa tells her that it was like I did all this because of you. You know, you'll never know what it's. I hope you never know what it's like to have to sacrifice one child to save another.
Yeah.
So she gave up her son in some way, shape, or form to keep Mel because she knew Mel was going to turn out to be a weapon of some sort,
is
which
sad.
is
Like,
it's really sad. It's a sad.
Arcane writers are allergic to happiness.
Yeah. right.
That's what I said last.
Right. So that was like another thing. Like that was basically the end of their relationship. But you see her getting those runes ready.
Yes.
That Rictus was using. That block magic.
The green.
Yeah, because he was blocking Jinx's hex tech attacks with his staff with that stuff on it. Yeah.
I always like was wondering like what is this stuff? What are they using? What is this? Like what? Like what are these little gems that Ambessa has on her arms? What is this stuff on his sword? And it stopped the Black Rose magic too.
Right.
So I don't know what this resistibility is, but
So then she shows Mal all of the automatons, the bots or whatever, and like scares the shit out of her. I said she shows all the things she thinks she's in charge of.
she thinks.
Yeah, Ambessa thinks she's in charge of. And then I put another note in here. I said, "Holy shit! They literally showed us the two different cocoons right in this episode. They showed them. They showed the blue cocoon, and then they flashed to another scene of the cocoon hooked up to all the hoses. They showed
Yeah.
the two different cocoons,
You were like,
alluding to the deception in the next episode, right?
yeah.
You checking off ones.
I was gonna check it off.
So
on my
and then
phone.
we get into him activating all that. You could hear Victor say or something like start the process.
So weird.
And then
His
you
voice just it
Right.
disturbs me now.
And then I think we witness one of the saddest things in this whole series. And this is the end. I think we witness the end of Vander right there. When he turns on that machine and you see him roar at him, and then he like looks up in the air and it goes to like that watercolor.
Yes.
And it like shows it like burning away, like whatever was left of Vander inside there was
was gone.
killed right there. And I thought that was like just like that took the way. It just really gut punched me because like, man, that sucks. What a sucky
Yes.
fate for a good character. And like, but it's good storytelling because it makes you really hurt.
I love Vander.
Me too.
Love
And
him.
like what an end. And I think that's because they showed that red painting basically of just his face. And it was just him, and then you just see it start to like burn away, and like all of his memories start to burn away. And I was just like, that was I said it was super super sad, and his fate sucked.
What was the watercolor thing of Jinx, their parents?
It was just
in
like
the
it-
second. Was that in the episode 9 or episode 8?
Yeah, no,
The watercolor of the parents.
I think that was in the last act.
Okay.
So, but they did that same art style
course it's
here,
in the
kind
last
of like,
act.
but like him, like they just like flashed through all his memories and stuff like that. I just thought it was super. super sad, and like
Yes.
it really, like I almost cried, like I did, like I got a little lump in my throat for that one.
Episode 9 made me cry like 3 different
Yeah,
times. I was
episode
like,
9 was really good.
it was. I was lost
getting
at
there.
first, but
I wonder
Victor.
how long. I wish I could see how long we've been recording.
Victor absorbed every. This one might be the longest.
Right. Well, I mean, it was, and the episodes were a little bit longer, and there's a lot to talk about, so it's fine. Like we can just
Yeah,
keep going.
Victor absorbed everyone's souls per se and turned everyone into automatons or what.
Yeah,
including Vander.
I said, please let this man die in peace.
Yes.
My goodness,
Like,
can we quit using his body for this
Stop
stuff?
bringing him back. Like,
Terrible, right?
well,
So then we see like
Vi
Victor,
left
like
his
so you
body.
see like Victor like wake up, like his eyes open, and that's like the end of the episode, right?
Yeah. Yes, and I realized then and there, like I was like, he's gone. That's not
I
him
like
anymore.
that was me too.
That's-
Like I was like that was because it was another one of those things. Remember how like I told you about Isha? You don't see the body or this and that, but like unless they do a cute montage of like their memories like that, it was the same
Like
thing for
her
Vander.
their last
Like that was
7
like the
minutes.
end of Vander, and it was just gut wrenching. It was absolutely gut wrenching.
And Vander, well, Isha was there for 6 episodes. Vander was there for the entire 2 seasons, and that was when
But even though he was still
referenced, he was referenced through
yeah,
everything.
basically.
And then Vander's gone then and there. And Vi and Jinx thought he was already gone. Like Vi was like, he's
Just
gone.
like we're getting him back, we're not getting him back. Can he come back? We don't know. Is he in there? But like at that point, like when you see them like in the 9th episode engaging with him, you know that he's already gone, and
So,
that it just
yeah,
it sucked even more. Yeah.
And that was the episode of
Right.
at the end of the episode, killing is a cycle.
Yeah.
Which,
right.
moving on to episode 9, the last episode.
Final episode of
the
Arcane.
final episode of Arcane.
Well, and again,
Not League of Legends.
We're not really sure. I think that's how they'll title it. I think Arcane was the story the 9
They were
episodes that we
calling
just watched.
it the Arcane. They were calling their home the Arcane or whatever.
I'm
is,
saying like this. The title of this 9
Yeah.
episode series is Arcane. I think the next one will get
Or 18 episodes of this 18 episode.
18
like,
episodes,
yeah.
right? Will be called blah 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 League of Legends.
Yeah, that's what.
You
Yeah,
know
that's
what I'm saying?
I thought.
Right,
too.
so I think it'll have a different title. I don't think it'll be called Arcane again.
No, definitely
Because I
not.
think,
No, I don't
well, we'll get into the end of, because I got notes at the end too that discuss all that stuff. So the season opens with Jinx laying in her hair again. This episode opens with Jinx laying in her hair again, but then she stands up and it's all
gone.
caught off.
Yeah.
But
the dirt under your nails, which
is the title of the episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is like what every time you look at the name of an Arcane episode, you're like, what is this gonna mean this time?
Right.
The same with oil and water. We were like, what is this gonna mean?
Right.
And notice how every single thing that
Well,
most
even
of
killing
the stuff
like
is what Vi
Silco,
says.
like Silco saying,
Yeah.
killing is a cycle. He's the
Yes.
one who named the last episode.
Well,
yeah.
like 3 or 4 to 5 episodes of Arcane has all been stuff Vi has said. Like Vi said the dirt under your nails. Vi
Right.
said oil and water. We're oil and water. It doesn't mix. That's but
Okay.
Jinx cuts all her hair off. Like
So like you briefly touched on it before. So Jinx's meaning of breaking the cycle
is to
was to
unalive.
yeah. So like
Which
I
is
don't like you
horrible.
can't. There's like certain words you don't want to say
No.
on things. But after burning like everything to the ground, like burning the last drop, you see her lighting Silco's chair on fire.
Which
see her
was-
lighting the bar on fire. Like
There was no way it wasn't like ruining her.
where it exploded with the glass, and the glass showed
Oh my-
like
yes.
like it almost looked like Vander's monster face with her reflection in
Oh
it.
yes.
Yeah, with the teeth, like the glass looked like we're in the shape of like
so
the teeth. I
cool.
thought that was really cool. Yeah. So I counted here. I went back and I watched this next scene again
Oh,
with the music, the song that they chose for this. Like, please let me go, go. The words to that song, if you look up the lyrics,
But
they're
if
awesome.
Echo didn't show up in the
Right.
in that for like before
So-
she did it, he wouldn't have been able to get her back.
So it was 5 times.
5. I didn't.
I
count.
thought it was going to be 4. It's 4 times with the grenade.
And
And the fifth time she she jumps.
She tried to jump.
She tried to
but
jump.
Then he was like, no.
Yeah, and he pulled it back, right? So I thought when he did it with the grenade, the last time with the grenade, I had the 4 counted. I was like, oh my god, 4, like the 4 seconds again.
Yeah,
And then she tried it again. I was like, okay, that was 5, but it was 4 times with the grenade that she blew
4
herself
times,
up.
Yeah, with the grenade,
Right.
which I was sitting there like, don't, like, I was like, I thought it was gonna be 4 too.
Even the one where she like the first one, you see her like skin start to come apart before he.
Oh, so
You
cool.
see that? Like,
Yes.
like where you could see her almost she was about to be gone. Like, and then he pulls it back. That was.
And he had his hand on the
again,
thing the whole time.
I mean,
And
huge shout out to whoever the fuck animated this. It is
so
absolutely incredible. I cannot express enough that this is one of my favorite animated anything
shows
ever.
like ever.
Shows, movies,
Awesome.
whatever. One of my favorite animated
There's probably
ever.
thousands or animators, like hundreds.
I mean, I don't know how many people worked on it. I should look into more often to be able to like properly like tell those people how good of a job they did. Like they're watching this shit anyway, but like you know
Well,
what I mean.
like, if you were,
thank you. It was great. You got. I have so much praise for your work. The art style. The art style down to like how everything moved, the way you used your camera, per se, your camera, is like nothing I've ever seen in anything. We've watched a
even
lot
movies,
of stuff.
like-
Not even movies, Marvel movies,
Yeah, I was about to say
Game of
that.
Thrones, Lord of the Rings. Like I'm telling you, I've loved and watched all of these series, Star Wars, all of that stuff.
This
I've
was
never
the best. Like,
well,
with camera work.
The camera work, I've never seen anything like it. So kudos to you guys on that.
Yeah.
So then we go from the opening. Goes to the opening
Battle.
after Echo says, you know, can I convince an old friend not to blow us up?
Well, he sits down.
Yeah.
Well, no, I thought this was after the battle started. The battle started and then this happened.
No, that's how the episode opened.
Okay, so he goes, I'm just after the 4th time. No, I think it was after the 5 times. He goes, I'm just gonna sit down.
Yeah.
And that was
Right.
and then with the blood on his face because he's been blown up too.
He's
and
got-
golden
yeah.
and
seemingly, whatever happens to him stays.
yes.
Like, so if he gets hit and then rewinds, that, like if somebody punched him and he was like, "Zzz," backed it up.
Yeah,
I
like
think
later
he
in this
still-
episode-
He still took that punch. He still,
Which hurts.
yeah.
Hurt. Like him.
So we come out of the opening to like, it seemed like a planning session.
Oh.
Where Kate, Jace, Vi they're all planning the
Yes.
coming defense of the city, right? Well, it starts to flash into the battle.
Yes.
Like we see this planning scene, but then we're seeing like explosions, Vi's running with
Well,
somebody
Vi's
on her
running with
shoulders.
somebody, and then
Yeah.
they throw her down, the person down, and you take off the helmet, and it's Gert or the Jinxer. I put
Right.
The Jinxer dies, and it seemed to affect.
Well,
Vi,
I think she's
because
known
Vi
this
was like-
person, yeah.
Vi knew this girl,
Right.
And
Or and saw her with the blue hair and also knew that she was there.
she was there for Jinx,
Right.
And
right.
Vi wasn't there during the whole scene where everyone was putting their hands on.
No, she wasn't present
no.
for that.
But like Vi knew this girl, had to have known.
Well, she
her.
just even if she didn't
just-
know who she was at all, she knew she was an Undercity kid that
Yes.
just died defending
their
Piltover, their home,
their
right?
home.
From Noxum soldiers,
Or
who
Zahn
like
and Piltover.
Nox is a very very militaristic nation.
Isn't it like, a country?
It's like a country or nation, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it is on the map, but like they know how to fight.
Yes.
They're born and raised in it. Like, so they're attacking the city. Like I said, it cuts right in, like mid battle. Like it doesn't give us a
Yes.
start to it. It cuts right in.
And then Loris sitting there controlling the thing, trying to help, and gets shot in I thought he was going to survive, shot in the back and then in the neck, and then
Vi's
dies.
like holding the door closed from all the
Yes.
soldiers trying to get in. And they're trying to load up something that like looks like a shipping container gun. I don't
It
know.
looked like a gun.
It shoots giant shipping containers. I couldn't figure out what it was. But it seemed devastating. Like he was trying to aim it at the boat, but they got one loaded and shot, and then they were trying to get the next one loaded up, and then Vi loses control of the door busts open. He takes 4 arrows to the neck, and it's like,
Yes.
oh well, there goes
Loris.
Loris.
Well, I was like, okay, he's
Kurt
gonna live.
Loris. No, he was.
They didn't do a singular little thing, like memorial sad thing for him because everything was happening.
It was happening so fast, like they really couldn't.
And
Right.
and Vi saw, I don't know if you saw this, but tears started forming in the bottom of Vi's eyes, and then she swallowed them.
Yeah, because she's in the middle of battle. We're in the
literally.
heat of battle, right?
But Loris was like her Vander a little
Right.
bit. He became her Vander when he took
Well,
her in.
I just think he was just he was a stand-in, basically.
Stand-in for
He
him.
didn't. I don't know if he was given a whole lot of Vander-like advice. The guy was kind of a drunk. I'm seeing. I thought he was really going to play more of a role. The way they played him in the first 3 episodes, where he was opening his eye, listening to the conversations.
Yeah.
But then he didn't have much to do with it after that.
Well, I think we just think about it too much because it's Arcane. We just thought
Well, yeah,
too much
obviously.
into it.
Well, and again, they only had these 9 episodes to wrap this whole thing, which, if you ask me, they did a beautiful job
did.
for something that was supposed to last longer.
Normally things,
They did a great job with that.
as you
We
said,
can get into that at the end.
as
yeah.
you say, normally other shows, when they have to wrap something up like that, they don't do it properly.
So then we see Ambessa.
You're just
She's got her sword arm things on the chains. She's cutting people down. She's spinning. Badass. She's a badass.
her
Ambessa is
swinging
absolute-
that thing around
Yeah.
and killing
killing people. She's wiping people out. Kate is up and doing her thing with the sniper rifle, and she tries to assassinate her. That's not just tries to kill her. She's trying to assassinate her.
Things.
Boom! She blocks it with the
Yes,
with
but she's took a hit
with the hex
past her
tech.
face. Remember
Yeah.
that little scene? And that stupid mask she wears has protected her from dying multiple
Yeah, that's probably
times.
why she wears it.
Yeah.
But the rifle that she's using,
So
and the
cool.
way they did the camera movement, because she shoots, and then when she blocks it, you see her. The camera's on the side of the gun. She pulls the cock back,
And then the
takes another shot
gun,
at her.
the Noxus gun pointing, and then it looks like it's pointing at us, and boom.
Yeah.
But it didn't hit. I thought it hit her, but it
I
didn't.
thought it did too, but they
then-
were off. They were in the same
They were in
tower,
a
but I
hole.
think they were in a little tiny hole off to the side.
And then Maddie just being referenced in that little section. I was like, okay, I don't like you, but you can be there.
Yeah.
Then Caitlyn goes down to fight with them,
Right.
And randomly gets hit by someone. We don't know who. We didn't know who she got hit by originally until we figured
I
it
knew.
out. You knew.
I knew it.
I
Well, because
didn't.
as soon as they started sneaking into that whole thing, and they were one with the bomb, I could tell by the look on her face. She handed the bomb off to the guy. Maddie did. She handed the bomb to the guy,
To the other guy. Yes.
and then he ran off, and the camera lingered on her for a minute, and she was kind of
So
She
what?
sabotaged it.
Yes.
She put the nail in the gears that
And
it
then-
showed. That
And then she pulled the thing and threw the other bomb. Remember,
Yeah.
and then he got killed.
Yeah.
That one guy.
the guy, they showed his whole family. I mean, so sad. But how good of storytelling that they can, in this little bit, they can give us this little story
10
of this
seconds.
no-name
Maybe
guy.
5 seconds. 5 seconds.
And
he
his
told
they
everything.
showed us his family, his wife and kids, him putting them on the train and sending them away to protect them, and then him taking up the arms, and then he gets an arrow to the throat. It was brutal, man. They did a good job with that stuff, though. That's great storytelling, fantastic storytelling.
And then it comes up to Maddie going like this to Ambessa when
Well,
that betrayer. I hate her for that.
I wrote down here. I said betrayer. I knew it was that bitch. I said, and then
Betrayer.
Right. I love how they handled this next scene, though. So I'll let since she was your favorite new character.
I loved her at first.
I'll let you explain what happens next. So then we could wake up. Basically, she knocks Caitlyn out. We wake up, and Caitlin's held
Caitlyn's
captive.
kneeled down,
Right.
and all of the soldiers with their hand.
And you can turn around, and Bessa turns around. You can see I won.
She's
won.
like, she's like,
Right.
I win.
Right.
And she walks up, and then Caitlyn turns slowly, and you see that stupid betrayer, her face. If I was there, I would have punched her right then and there.
Right.
But she was holding her, Caitlyn's rifle, and she
It
handed.
wasn't Caitlin's rifle.
Yeah, it was. It was the one.
Oh,
yes.
she gave it to
She
right.
handed it to Ambessa.
Right.
And then Ambessa gave her the sniper, or whatever the pit.
Well, no,
the big,
she had her Maddie had her own rifle.
And
she was aiming, and then Caitlyn hit her. Remember? Caitlyn hit Maddie. She grabbed the rifle and hit her in the face with it, and then
yeah.
cocked it. And before she cocked it and aimed it, Ambessa was there, and she stuck her in the side with that little knife.
Yes, and then
Right.
Caitlyn was like, and fell. And then Maddie took her gun back and came up behind her and said some stupid, nasty comment and shot
I really
it.
enjoyed your warmth.
I really-
is what she said. So gross. So
I really
gross.
enjoyed your warmth. And then Mel.
I mean,
And
but
then-
she like didn't even hesitate though. Maddie
No.
was just like click, click, boom, and pulled the trigger.
Yes, and then it bounces back and hits her in the face and she dies.
Like Mel saved her.
But there was
And then she falls over her shoulder and slumps off. It was so good.
She fell onto Caitlyn.
On Kate,
no
yeah.
reaction. Caitlyn was like,
Love it.
Caitlyn just like,
Looks at her face all bleeding out. It was good.
yes,
She got what she deserved.
yes, she did.
And then I also wrote a comment here that says Mel's powers are very uncertain. Like, what is she even capable of? Like, we have no idea.
There was something I was going to say, but I cannot remember.
Did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
It was about Matt. Well, yeah, it was about Maddie, and it was her. She, like, did some. Oh, I remember. There was a little frame, like literally a millisecond frame that someone caught, where it was a black screen and it was Maddie outlined in white with a smile with the gun up to Caitlyn's head when she pulled the trigger. But then that's when it bounced back, and it was. I'll show it to you later, but it was like a picture of her, like
Like it flashed on the screen, or somebody drew it?
it flashed on the screen.
Oh.
It was like really, really
Like a
quick, though.
frame?
Yes, a frame.
Oh, okay.
And it was like in Jinx's art style. It was in how Jinx would draw her little monsters.
Okay.
With Maddie with a smile and Caitlyn kneeling down, and they were outlined in white. It was.
And
they
that
were all
happened on
black.
screen.
Yes. It was. It was really, really quick. It was.
Huh.
But someone
I'll have to
caught.
check that out, yeah.
Someone caught it by slowing it down.
Like going frame by frame?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. I didn't catch that
was-
at all.
Which it was.
But that almost
everybody-
alludes to what happens right after that.
Yes,
then.
everyone posted it everywhere. Like that little frame, everyone was like,
Huh? I
this-
didn't see
They
that
would
at all.
put it as their little icons on things like Instagram or whatever because they thought it was a really awesome frame. I'll show it to you after.
Yeah, I'll have to see that afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Right. So then, but I said it almost alludes to what happens next, and like you hear the loud music playing, and then Jinx shows up in this crazy
Her hair
air balloon,
like
her hair
blowing.
with the pink
Yeah,
infused in.
and with the teeth symbolizing Isha, with on her
yeah,
hat, the teeth.
Why
Isha
teeth?
had teeth on her hat, and then the hood had teeth on it.
I saw that. I
coming out.
noticed that. I was okay. So I didn't catch that. That
Yeah.
meant that was for Isha.
Yeah. She also,
Okay.
that dyeing her hair was probably symbolizing, like, I'm doing this for you.
Right.
Because that
And
was
she
like
dyed her
her
hair
little
pink.
sister.
Yeah.
It was like,
well, I think it was like her tie. Yeah, same thing with Isha. It was all together like her.
she cut even more of her hair off if you didn't notice. Like, she
It
kind
was
of
just her
shaved.
bang thing like left. Yeah.
She, like, left her bang and then she shaved off the rest because it was, like, down to her shoulders
Yeah.
and then she shaved it off.
Yeah.
Then the firelights coming
Coming
in
out of
and
there,
yes.
coming down, her taking out monsters. Like, what's his name? Echo
Yes.
flies by and takes out one of those big ones in like 2 swings, like knocks him
Yes.
out.
And then he
Right.
has that sword now. He has that big blue sword, right?
No,
No, not yet?
Not yet. No, he was
No.
using like the one he had in the when he showed up with the owl mask on in the first season.
I love
It had like the
his-
gear on the end of it. It was like a staff
And then
with like
he
a
took
gear.
it. He took his mask off at one point, like
Yeah, he took his mask off and showed Vi who he was.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But then Vi was like freaking out because then that's when the bots started coming in. During all of this, the soldiers like lined up around Ambessa, Mel, and Caitlyn and protecting them from these bots. And the bots were going around and like one grabbed Savika, one grabbed like 3 grabbed Savika and like lifted her off the ground. It was a cool, if you didn't know, like
Yeah, when the bots crawled
yes.
up the
oh they're
scene.
so freaky. I do not like the bots at all. The way the bots like crawl and like
Well, I think
twist
that
and
happens
turn.
right after they fire, like, because Jinx shows up and then it allows them to get loose and then they fire the shipping container.
Did
They-
you see
the gun.
Ambessa's face when she saw Jinx? She was like,
Yeah, oh shit. Yeah.
she was like,
Because she's the unpredictable factor.
yes.
Ambessa is a very
the Joker.
calculated person. She can predict what's going to happen. She predicted the whole battle. She basically won the battle. This is the one thing she didn't see coming.
This is the one thing she
Right.
didn't hope
She didn't-
would come.
She was.
'Cause
She,
she
didn't
thought
know
she was
this
in
is
jail.
an unpredictable factor. She had no idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
They fired the shipping container and hit the cocoon.
Well, they killed one of the soldiers, put him in front in this thing that was
Oh,
like
he was trying to
holding him.
stop it, and Vi walks up and punches him in the knee. Yeah, yeah, that was good stuff.
And
yeah.
then who was that? I don't know that kid. That was a kid.
So-
in that with that brown hair and
Right.
the one that fired it.
So in the
He was-
I think the episode before that, when they were showing everybody uniting and they were showing all the different people, they showed a kid standing next to a piano, and I think that's him. But I think that him standing next to a piano, I think, is alluding to another League of Legends character. I've heard like down the road,
musically based.
yeah, something like that.
I
like
love musical based characters. They're so cool. Like
he I don't know what he does. I don't remember, but I heard like that he
Well,
could.
he was the one
possibly-
playing piano in that one scene it was a couple. I think it was in Act 2, maybe. It was.
It
like,
might
when
have been where
flashing.
Mel. Remember when Mel met Lest in the theater
Yes,
thing?
that's what I
So that
remember,
might have
and
been
then
okay.
playing
So
the-
that might be him. I didn't.
He
I
had
didn't
brown
realize
hair.
that.
He was like littler.
Yeah, but he was like
Yeah.
So I think they allude to him being maybe a different character, but I think that was him.
They
But he's the one who
fire
fires. He's the one who runs up and fires the cannon in Loris's place. Yeah,
Yes.
right. That reveals that they hit the fake cocoon, revealing the real plan, and Victor is already
Victor's
awake.
not- Well, Victor wasn't even there because Victor was with Jace.
He was already down where
and
Jace
then it
was.
flashed to Jay. It did. This I think it was a little bit before they fired. No, it was after they fired the shipping container where it flashed to Jace pulling the things out of the hex core,
Yeah.
like,
So he was powering it down.
powering it down. Yes.
Victor walks in and just basically, without moving a muscle,
He's
just
so-
so creepy. He basically just turns everything back on.
Did you realize that his face was torn apart and there was a thing in the
It
middle?
was like his
Mask in the middle, and his face was stretched.
It was weird.
was-
It was so weird.
And then his voice
And
was so deep.
Like so, and like his little arm, like that's his like
Oh, I hate it.
like his character in League of Legends has that like a third arm that comes up and like does stuff. I don't know too much about it, but like I think
it's
like
so
that's
cool.
part of his League of Legends character. is that.
This is flashing that. So this scene with Jace and Victor are flashing through to going to where Vi and Warwick and because that beast is now that's not Vander anymore.
Unless they come up and say, like, to me, them showing those watercolors burning away and that stuff like that was the end of Vander to me.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. I maybe hope I'm wrong. I kind of hope I don't wrong because it was really good storytelling. It was a good way. As sad as it is, it was still really good. If it can move you emotionally, then it was good storytelling. you know?
Yes.
So,
And-
then the automatons come up. They scale up the building.
Oh, ew!
Yeah.
I just
And
the way that they twist and turned their
Yeah.
bodies and distorted them just
Yeah.
to get to where
body horror, super creepy.
Oh,
Right? But
ew.
then you see Warwick jump up, right, and Vi sees him, but then Jinx is
the
just
way
like,
he's like.
she just unloads on him with the rainbow Gatling gun. It was great.
Did you see that it was the machine gun mixed with fish bones
Yep.
mixed with
It was all-
did you see
all-
fish bones on the back and she flipped the gun
It was
around
like
and one
all
of the
her
fighting
weapons
shot.
together. Like it was
Yes.
cool, yeah.
And so she didn't all she had to do was flip the gun around, boom, rocket. So and the gravity going out like
Well, wait,
yeah.
because we got to get there.
We will,
So
yeah.
the automatons attack. Mel and Kate
Kate.
challenge Mbessa.
Yes.
So
She goes fight and
she
throws her
says,
the
"Shut up and fight." Right.
Yes. Well, she stabbed her. Wait. Yes, or
Stabbed who?
took the. Caitlyn took the knife out of Mbessa's. I
don't remember exactly how, but she said
She's-
she said just shut up and fight, and then started to challenge, then fight, and then Mbessa proceeded to kick the shit out of Kate and Mel.
Yeah, with Mel's powers.
She was blocking them with that thing. You see her too. She was like pow, pow,
Yes.
like yeah,
and
it was
when
it
she
was cool.
threw the spear, expecting to just kill Caitlyn then and
Yep.
there, like the it shattering off, and Caitlyn was
Killed-
like,
yeah, but it killed one of her guys.
yeah,
It
and
went right into
shattered off into,
yeah.
and he was like, and then died.
I
which
said
was
she
crazy.
kicked, she like kicked their asses. Like
Yes,
if you
which
ask me,
was-
like the fight was she.
And then she gave up. She backed down. She said, "Hey, good." She was like, "Good job" or whatever. And she backed off kind of the fight.
Right. Well, then she started to try to stab her. However that happened with the.
Knife, the little knife, or
No, she had the spear, and then Mel was
Oh.
trying to block the spear. she was trying to stab Caitlyn and she had it real close to her eye,
Oh yes.
right?
It reminded
Caitlyn
me of Jinx.
hit her in the eye
Oh.
so she could reach up and cut off the protecting thing on her arm. So it happened so fast that I didn't catch it till the second time, but she let it hit her in the eye.
She let it?
Yeah.
Ooh, ow.
So she could pull.
Oh, and
then
that's why she has the thing now.
She pulled out the knife that was stuck in her side, the little knife that Ambessa stabbed her with. She pulled that out and cut the ribbons and cut the protecting thing off her arm.
She let it hit her in the eye, and that's why she has the.
That's why she has the eye patch.
The eye
at
patch
the end.
now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then instantly Mel she says something like "I am the wolf" or something like that, or the wolf shows no mercy, and she grabs her necklace, and Ambassador just goes. And turns upside down, and she's completely.
She's pulled like she's stuck. Like,
she's caught by the Black Rose.
I was like,
oh shit, what just happened?
Yes, I was literally like, what just happened? Like looking back and forth, like what?
Right, but then the way Mel's hands come into that
it
reality, and she comes in and they're
like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
She said Mel.
The way they showed that thing's face, I don't want to turn around because I'm talking to Michael, but they showed the face and they showed Mel coming up from behind her, but they showed her surprised, the dark entity thing, the Black Rose. They showed her oh shit.
And it said sister, so they are related.
I think so.
So
she's part of this Black Rose.
She was willing to kill her own mother, not Mel. The entity was willing to kill what they thought. I think her
sisters
mother.
means I don't think blood related. I think it's more of a witch thing.
Oh, witch thing, yes.
Like they're sisters because of the magic, in a way. So, but so she sticks the chains through Mel. Mel takes it and then she just grabs onto him and just.
And they turn yellow and then
to
boom.
Mel's color, to her power, and then she annihilates the Black Rose,
yes,
or whatever that entity was. I don't know if she kills the Black Rose entirely.
But those chains were killing Ambessa while she was upside down.
100%.
And the blood rushing to her head because she's upside down.
Well, and then you see right before that she came in, she did all that magic on the side of her head and took took a bunch of whatever her soul or whatever it was, her life force.
She falls down and tells Mel something. I don't.
She says, "You are the wolf." Finally, accepting Mel being
for who she was.
Right.
And then she died,
died.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Leaving Mel
to
in charge.
And then all the soldiers immediately listened to her. Immediately.
Yeah, that's because that's how that's the part of that nation. They follow the leader. They follow the strongest, and she just killed Ambessa.
She just killed
their leader.
So they're like
they're hers. So then she finds the mask. Her mom's mask.
That was at the very end.
Yeah.
But okay, then it flashes back to Vi and Jinx fighting,
standing back to back,
and then
Echo is mirroring the episode.
It just kind of showed a little bit of Echo on the ground with his thing, and then it came over to the fight. It showed Vi standing on the side of she was standing sideways. If you notice that, she was standing sideways on the thing looking out to the horizon.
Well, when they saw Warwick and she started shooting him, Warwick jumped up on the balloon and then they crashed the whole balloon, Echo and everybody, into the side of the hex gate tower.
The hex, yes.
That's how they ended up. Yes, that's why they were in anti-gravity.
Yeah.
They ended up in the inside of that hex gate.
Yeah.
So then Jinx and Vi are standing there back to back, in episode. I think it was episode 4. Or was it episode 6 in the first season?
6.
It was, where she put the blue smoke up.
Yeah, that was 6.
And then Powder find her. And then they were standing back to back while the firelights were flying around.
They hugged in the firelights. Yeah, and it was like that.
But it was that same thing, but this was, it was different.
She said, "It's always you," or something like that. I'll always be your sister.
Or always be here for you, or always got your back. It was something like that. I can't remember.
Oh my God, I wish I remembered it now. It was but it was a good quote. She said it twice. Yeah. She was like, I'm always gonna be your sister. There's no, I can't get out of it. It's she tried to get out of it, but she knew she just couldn't. Then I said, this was a little bit later when they end up.
Yeah, I meant to move that down.
Yeah, just, we'll come back to it. Just, that's also after. the entire fight in the anti-gravity happens in that quick moment. The fight where like Jinx is shooting in the air and she flips the rocket around,
Right.
shoots, and the
This is
Warwick.
all like see, but this all happened like during they're flashing back and forth between Jason and Victor too, because Victor gets the anomaly,
Yes.
puts it in his staff, and basically gravity turns off, and everybody starts
Yes.
floating.
That's
So then he starts shooting up, and Jace starts chasing him while Vi
and then he uses the
the
hammer,
hammer to like
go. Yes.
go rocket up. So then they're flying up through the Hexgate Tower while Vi and Jinx and Vander are all fighting anti-gravity. She's using her gun to ride around on
Yes.
it. Yeah.
And then Vi is using the hammers, like she's.
Yeah, she's propelling herself. Yeah. That was super cool. Her rocket
They
punch.
saved each other multiple times.
Yes.
Like the rocket punch,
Well,
so
after
awesome.
Vander jumped on the balloon,
Or
then
Warwick.
Vi jumped on the skateboard the hoverboard with Echo, and he drove her up there, and he like and she jumped off and hit the rocket punch. And
Oh yeah, that was before,
boom,
but
and
that
hit-
was before. Yeah.
Before this, yeah. I
Yeah.
just wanted I forgot to write it down, but yeah.
Yeah.
Then
That scene
yeah.
with Echo helping and was like, "It's me! Like I'm here now! Like finally, I'm here now." Because he had just made it back
Right.
to get to Jinx.
Right, so they had no time to even process
No.
that. Yeah.
So Vi was like, "Okay, we're in the middle of battle. You're helping me. We're on the same side," which they were all on different sides. Echo, Jinx, and Vi in season 1, they all were against each other. Firelights, Jinx, Vi, all different, and now they're all working together.
Yeah, so like right before they shot up, Jace and Victor had like a short conversation.
Yeah.
Jace basically tried, you don't have to do this. Like it doesn't have to be like this. Like
He was
you
like,
know,
"I don't have a choice."
right,
It was crazy.
right. So then they shoot up. They pass right through the middle of the fight.
Oh, yes.
You see it in slow motion. She's like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, he goes up. Yeah, right. So
They slowly looked and then they
Right.
just shot up through like they were.
right. So then you go up to the top of the Hex Gate, which is basically the top of where Jace was in his alternate reality, right? In his dark future.
Where he talked to the.
And then he ends up in that same position where he's holding the hammer.
Oh yes.
And you're like, holy shit, it was him. Like, that's his body.
That's it.
Whoa.
Oh, and then that's what you were
and
talking
then
about
Victor
with the.
puts his hands on his head.
And he
like,
put it from behind.
Yeah,
So in the
like-
scars.
yeah.
Like you said, the scars were right here.
Yeah.
Instead of.
they were flipped upside down. Yeah, he
Yes,
grabbed him like.
because
And then, so his face lights up.
they talk
and
in the. No, that's after. Oh, whoa.
It's all happening really fast. So I didn't write. I don't think I wrote if I wrote it down all in order. So he grabs his face lights up, and then everybody goes up. Like the automatons are like holding the people's face up, and they're like,
Like they're getting
and they're
snapped.
like their
But
souls are being snatched
right
away.
before
They're
this-
becoming part of like a hive mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, Vi is talking is on the edge of the thing and it's like cracking and
Yeah,
they're
that's
like about-
after all this.
Oh,
That's what I'm
that-
saying. Like you're
Oh,
yeah. That's
yeah.
what you wrote that in the wrong place. So it's fine. That's after the even the Echo thing happens.
Oh,
Yeah. Like that's after like Echo sets everything straight and they
Oh,
decide
yeah.
like then they're on the ledge.
yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So no, because then when Jinx like fell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
later.
after.
Yeah.
Okay. So then during the whole thing he's got Jace. So like even in the when they're talking like the astral plane, you could see a green streak behind Victor's head. And then it comes back to reality and you see Echo coming in on his
Oh,
thing. And
I didn't
yeah.
even notice that.
Right. And then he comes flying in through all the automatons. He's using his he gets to him and gets clotheslined off of his skateboard and then uses
And then he
like,
pulls
you see
it.
it in the slow motion, he's turning and then you see the device and you see him reach for it and he grabs it and goes back and,
then
he
he-
skates under him. It goes up and around.
And the slow motion of him dodging the next part, and then when he got grabbed and he kept pulling it, like,
Yeah, so good.
he grabbed it and he was like, "Wait, 4 seconds already passed," and then he turns it
Yep.
to like a minute,
Yeah.
and then he pulls it, and his face got like torn apart and put back together.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna die then and there.
I thought so too, kind of.
But he was like, he believed deep down that he could survive it, so he did it.
Right.
So he could
I
avenge
think
everything.
that him being dislodged from time in a way that he was and being able to do that was what saved him. Everybody else got snatched. He was the only one that didn't. So I think him being dislodged in that way was what saved him from that, from being right away.
And
So he goes, he pulls that thing. What were you going to say?
when I was about to talk about when he threw it, and I
Right.
thought he was gonna hit him with the sword instead, but he
No, he wound the device up past him and then threw it at him.
Mm-hmm.
And that blew, like, everything stopped. Like,
yeah, everyone just paused,
right.
which was awesome.
Awesome. You see, like, the cracked mask over Victor's face and stuff like that. So then they
You
go.
saw Victor. You
Right,
saw
you see the real Victor.
The real Victor.
Right. And then we go to Jace and Victor talking.
That I was
Right?
crying. I'll
Right.
say I was so. And ever since when Victor said, it was affection that held us together.
Yeah.
In Act 1, I was like, they're never going to like be the same again until it. They were like, he was like, we can do this together. We can fix everything.
Right.
And then he said, why did, like, he pointed at the gem and he was like, why'd you give this to
That
me?
was my moment. I loved it. I was like, I was right. I was right.
3 years.
For 3 years. I said
Yes.
it way back in the day. Way back in the day, I said that the wizard that gave the gem to Jace was going to be Victor. And it sure was.
And it cut to older Victor with his beard and his, like,
Right.
and it went from the darkness inside the hood into the little shine on his
Yeah.
face. I was like, I literally went, I was like, we were right. And then I texted you and
Yeah.
I was like, so he was.
He was the original mage that gave him the gem. But so he said he did this in multiple timelines, to infinite timelines.
Oh, and then the
this was
gem with the different symbols
Yes,
flipping. Oh,
yeah.
that was such a cool
so
scene.
cool. And so then Victor says, because he's basically asking him why, and he says, I basically I did this. Perfection. It's nothing. He says there is no prize to perfection, only an end to pursuit.
Yeah, and
Which
then
I thought was one of my favorite lines in the whole
he
episode.
ripped the gem out, and
Yeah.
they both held it together and put their
Wait.
hands- yeah.
You're getting ahead of yourself. What I was saying was that basically by saying what he's saying, there is no prize to perfection, like good or bad. Like it's just lonely and boring and nothing. Like he ended everything good and bad with the hive mind. Like everybody's one thing now. And only the end to pursuit. So what he means by that is that if you're already perfect, then there is no pursuit. By pursuing perfection is how people do great things. They never ever achieve perfection, but along the way they pursued it, and by pursuing it, they achieved these great things. So I thought that was just a really, really cool line that he said.
Them just talking and them in this alternate in the plane and what Jace looked like in that plane was so awesome. I just loved every second
The
of it.
whole animation when he was like, "This is what you see."
Like this is where
and then
you've
you see
been.
Victor like in the like he's in like surrounded. And he's got
face.
his like things over his head, and he's like in this astral like form.
Just that scene where like his big form where he looks like a god.
Yeah.
He looked
Right.
not inhuman. Like he looked mythical. That's what he looked like
Right.
then and there.
So then Jace convinces him that it's not right. In this one reality, in this one outcome out of all the infinite ones that he did, this one is the one where Jace convinces him that it's not the way, and then they destroy the
Gem.
The gem. It's the what is it? I heard what it was called, and I forgot it now. Like the whatever, the rune of something or other. I forget what it was called.
Yeah.
Destroying that basically not resetting or changing anything, but leaving. They basically left, instead of doing what Victor wanted to make everything perfect, they just left everything as it is and let these people figure out their own fate together.
Yeah.
And let them go forward together without you interfering and trying
yeah.
to make everybody perfect.
He said, let them choose their own fate.
Right.
Like, he was like, fate is not a choice. And he was like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Like,
So then we go to
the
the
scene.
aftermath of that where
Vi.
Vander and Vi are laying on a platform and Jinx is above them.
I think she broke her arm because she pulled it out and she was like, ah.
Yeah,
Like,
she pulled. Well, you can see when
it
she
was
pulls
like,
it out. It was like, yeah,
ew.
it was
so
all like
gross.
Jello. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And it was like breaking, falling down.
Mm-hmm.
And Jinx was like, you gotta go. Like, get up,
You
go.
can, yeah,
Like,
you can get to this other
the
platform. Yeah.
Yeah, but then she just walked over and kneeled next to Warwick, and
Then he wakes up.
flash of when Vander died, because it was the same
Yeah.
exact, and then the parallel between Vi and Jinx, in the second act, Vi said that they couldn't save Vander, and now Jinx is like, that's not Vander. We can't save him.
I think
Which
she
was-
even understands, like, because she fought him. They had fought, but she knows that he was gone. She's like sensed that there was nothing left of him in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like during that fight, I think Jinx sensed it. Like she sensed that there wasn't in there. So they go to, they're fighting.
Warwick woke up and like
Right.
grabbed or punched Vi.
He's trying to kill Vi, and Vi is just trying to defend herself with the
one arm
with her
because
one arm.
she-
And as he goes to go up, he's in slow motion. Then Jinx comes and hits him
But she was so fast.
Like
Did you see how fast
yes,
she was?
and
The shimmer.
in the blink of purple light. Keep that in your mind. Okay, so she slams into him. They're falling.
She smiled at Vi. She was like,
Well, they fall off, and Vi grabs them
with
with
one arm.
with the one arm,
And she's holding up the thing.
she says that line again. That's for the second time. It's the same one, like
the
I'll
same
always be
line.
there for you, sis, or
Yes.
something like that, or I'm always with you, sis, or something like that.
Yeah, she said that. I'm always with you.
Yeah. And then she reaches up and punches the gem out of the
And she
the glove.
screams. She screams, no.
Yeah.
And, well, the monster climbing up Jinx.
Yeah.
Like, it grabbed around her
Yeah,
waist.
her whole waist, like you had her like
whole
a
waist.
doll.
And I was
Yeah.
like, how is her body not torn apart? Because that monster
was
is
made
like,
of- like, yeah, it
he's
was claws.
Huge.
Yeah.
Not like he's huge. He has to weigh like 500 pounds, and he's holding on to her by her leg.
Yeah, but she's also like a superhero.
Yeah, she's like a
Right.
inhuman thing made out of
Something,
shimmer.
yeah, and there's arcane to her. So
Oh, I see. I understand this now. What you put
what?
the Vi and Jinx.
Oh, and so one of my favorite things in this whole thing is that I realize we're watching is like, so Vi and Jinx each end up Jinx powder, each end up in their own reality where they get to be happy, but the other one is dead.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's that.
In this
scene.
reality,
Jinx.
ours, the one that we're watching,
Jinx dies.
Jinx dies, and Kate and Vi get to be together and
Yeah.
potentially be happy.
Yes.
In the alternate reality that we saw, the pretend like it's the first time reality,
Vi dies.
Vi dies, but Powder gets to live on and be with Echo
And be happy. Oh,
Right. It's so good. So good.
The people kept saying that there was I'll show you it later, but there was a video of someone performing the girl who sang Paint the Town Blue, singing it live, and at the end of the song it had Jinx's voice saying like nothing ever dies, trying
okay.
to prove that she was still alive, but I
wait.
think she's dead.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Wait.
So if you watch that scene again, her falling, just as the explosion goes off, boom, you see this little flash of pink light
Yes,
just go off the screen.
which
100%, I think it's her.
her
You saw
living.
the flash of pink light when she hit Vander and knocked him off
Yeah.
the ledge.
So what if she
I
got out?
100% think that she's out.
She's out.
Right.
And what if she comes back in the other
I
next
think I don't know if we'll
series?
see her in the next series, but I think they'll bring her back.
They're making a
maybe in the-
movie. They're gonna make a movie, not off this one, I don't think, but I think off of like.
there's so from what I understand, since we're just going into that, from what I understand, there's 3 more projects in the works.
Oh, 3? That's
3.
a lot.
Well, in the end, so here's another theory I heard right before you came in to do the podcast,
Uh-huh.
which was cool. In the first episode when they're on top of the roof and the airship flies over their heads, and Powder goes, "I'm gonna fly one of those things one of those days." The very last scene is that airship leaving, and then it flashes her at the end.
Oh, so you think that she flew?
I think she's on the airship, so I thought that was a cool theory.
I'm gonna fly
So
one of-
when they show the end flashes up, the E in the is backwards for a 3. for the 3 new projects that are coming for
Oh.
Arcane. But I don't think it's Arcane. It's the League of Legends. So then they show the Raven picking at the hammer.
The three-eyed.
Six-eyed Raven.
Six eyes.
So again, I'm cheating a little bit going into the lore of League of Legends. That six-eyed Raven is the familiar of the leader of the nation of Noxus. He's a bad motherfucker.
Like not worse than Mbessa.
Yes.
Like 100 times worse.
Worse. Yes.
Dang.
And so I think that's where we're going to go directly next. And I think Mel might be a character in that next series. Because then you get to see her sitting on her ships and she's going home. And she's got the mask on. So I think we're going to see her next in one of these new projects.
Caitlyn, when she's narrating the end with her voice, and then
So go ahead.
she's narrating, she's saying these things, but then we see Savika being counseled.
Yeah.
And all these. Savika just wants to protect the Undercity. If her becoming a counselor and doing all this stuff
And
just to protect everyone.
But that's the first time the Undercity's been represented on the council.
Yeah,
and I
which
think
was-
it's her. She's a good pick for that.
Yeah, there were multiple people from the Undercity on the council, and old counselors were on. Did you see
I
that?
didn't see any more Undercity people but her.
Yeah.
They were all looking at her funny. They were looking at Savika
So wait,
funny.
that like girl, that like weird shaped, the girl with the really big head and the hair.
Yeah, no,
I thought she was from the Undercity.
No, I don't think so. Not that one that we saw.
Mel leading her
So-
family, her story might continue.
So I think her story is going to continue. So we see Singe saved his daughter,
I
and
thought
she was
that-
like,
she looked like Maddie for a second. Which
she looked like an automaton.
Oh, she did with her
She had the
face.
same features as some of the
Bots.
things the bots that
So you think she may have transferred her into one of those bodies just to
Right.
help her live?
So like all those people that he turned into automatons, they're all dead, right?
Yeah. And then we talked about Heimerdinger not being dead.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So
I
yes,
I loved it. Loved the entire show. It was great.
So from start to finish, I know they had to wrap it up quickly. The plans changed, but I'm looking forward to the next 3 installments of what they got coming. So I think that I heard that I don't know the names of the nations, but there's 3 different stories in 3 different parts of the world of Runeterra, which could be really cool if they do it all right and they could tie it all together at like further down the road, 10 years from now. I mean, because it takes. I mean, I bet it's another 3 or 4 years before we see anything.
Yeah.
Because it was
Well, of
3
course.
years between season 1 and
season
2.
two, yeah.
And now that they got their feet under them a little bit and kind of understand
Yeah.
better about how to make it, maybe that'll come out a little bit faster. I'm not
So
sure.
like maybe it would be like a year between each.
Oh, I don't
season?
know. I think it'd take them longer than a year
Well,
to create something like that. all
No,
that
no,
artwork.
no. I mean, the first season of it will come out in maybe like 5 years or something, or 4.
I'm saying 3 to 4.
3 to 4.
That's my prediction. I'm hoping maybe they were already working on it alongside this.
Oh, maybe.
So it's already started, and then they're moving forward.
so excited to see how they're gonna portray the story, the new story that they're telling.
I
can't wait.
Any more parts of this world they can give me, I'm in. I'll be a loyal viewer of anything that they come out with that has to do with this League of Legends animated series.
Yeah, and then I remember what I was gonna say. Vi came in and she was sitting and she was humming a melody. She was humming a little melody.
Yeah, it's like
and
the
at
first melody from the very first episode.
Yes, I was gonna
In
say
the opening scene.
The opening scene where Powder's singing.
Mm-hmm.
She's the vocals and Vi's the melody. People say.
Oh, okay.
She's the vocal, Vi's the melody, and she.
I like that.
And then Caitlin said, "You're singing."
Yeah.
Like she was like, "Well."
Oh, another thing I forgot. So, like another hint to Jinx being alive is, did you notice that what Kate was looking at?
No.
She on her computer screen. Remember how she went back in the first act, she used the
The board. Wait.
she looked at the computer or whatever kind of thing to show her the ventilation system that her family had created.
Yes.
And she was looking at another computer like that, but this time she was looking at the hex gate diagram, and then she zoomed
yes.
in on some air ducts.
So you think that like
It's another escape route for Jinx. I think there were just two huge hints pointed at Jinx not being dead.
and nobody knows what she's doing. Nobody knows where Jinx is, and
No.
Jinx
I think she's
put
going to
her
lay
hand-
low for a while, and then she'll come back as a surprise to help
put
somebody.
her
finish
hands
something.
on the side of Warwick's face before she died. Did you see that? Like she put her hands on the side of
Yeah.
his face. Was like,
When she had the grenade out right before she died. Yeah. But I think that
I like
think
her
that
hair. I liked her hair.
I think that distinct pink flash coming off of that explosion is totally her.
Yeah, like
100% her.
I think I saw someone mention that.
I had it pulled up. We can't really watch somebody else's YouTube video on our YouTube channel and without like asking, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think that was her. So I think she's alive. I think
she's alive.
Heimerdinger, I think we'll see him pop up somewhere in the near future. It might not be like he remembers everything, but he might be like a new version of himself or like a reborn version of himself, you know, because I think somewhere like their species, like they can't die. So
Well, that was
it was quite a ride. I'm fully invested. I can't wait to see what they do next. I will definitely. This will be a series I rewatch for years. I'll go back and rewatch the whole 18 episodes, and if I get
I
bored,
would.
you're like, Arcane.
Arcane.
And I'll pop it on and watch it because it's a quick watch. You can watch it in a couple days. 18 episodes. If you're really binging, you know, you can watch it, and it's awesome. And I actually can't wait to watch it all together. I think that'd
Yes.
actually be a cool experience
'Cause-
to watch it just from episode 1, season 1 to 18.
yeah, and you'll probably notice even more.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
100%.
and we've already made
And more
references-
connections between
Season
season
two
1
and season two.
and season 1 and season 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So, well, anyway, keep an eye on the channel. Do all the things like subscribe. I don't know when the next content is coming, but I'm gonna be making something. So, and whether or not she'll be involved or not, she'll be involved here and there because she does have her own interests and they don't always align with mine. So
Well, I can introduce you to more stuff if you.
that's true too. But well, I mean, she'll be in and out, and then but yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys, and thanks for stopping by.
I was
And,
gonna say that. I was
you
gonna
go.
say thanks for stopping by.
There you go, and we'll see you next time.